welcome to segment number 3 for, I believe, week number 3 now. Alright, so I'm going to be going over part 3 of my segment, Time to Retire. We only have one more week left of this. And this week I'm going to be talking about two guys that have been here since the Attitude Era. I mean, that's been a very long time. Kind of feel like it's time to go off into the sunset. I'm talking about the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and the world's largest athlete, The Big Show. Okay, they've both been around for many, many years. I mean, my gosh, what's like 16 years or more now, it seems like. I mean, they have been around for a long time. They come and go because they don't have a lot to do for them. They really need to be kind of like what Christian's doing right now with Sheamus, and that is pushing the young guys. Big Show's been in these main events, defeating Kane and really taking the spotlight with Daniel Bryan, trying to help himself out. I don't know what's going on there. I feel like both guys need to retire soon, but I hear good news. I hear that both of them have stated recently in interviews that their contracts only have a couple of years left on it. So they have both said that when their contracts are up, they're retiring from in-ring action. So what I'm talking about today might actually be happening in just a couple of years, and they, especially Mark Henry, has said he wants to help the guys in the back, maybe even go down to Florida and be in the Performance Center, which is fine by me. Maybe he can teach people how to be injured as much as he gets injured, because my gosh, he's injured as much as Rey Mysterio. But anyway, that's going to be my time for Time to Retire this week. I'm going to be back next week with a special part 4 where I'm going to discuss guys that I feel are doing retirement or semi-retirement the right way, the way that these guys need to be doing it. So I will be back next week for part number 4 of Time to Retire.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of week 3. That was a very good time to retire.
Thank you. Do you agree?
I agree.
Two of them have been there a long time.
Yes, they've taken up enough spotlights to they need to walk on, get out the door.
Exactly.
I mean, Mark Henry, only when he became the world's strongest man did he ever have any success.
Well, he was sexual chocolate. I guess he had some success, but
he'll be more famous, known for being with Mae Young and her having a hand.
Yes.
Than being the world heavyweight champion.
Which I did enjoy his reign as world heavyweight champion. I think they used him pretty well. And even when he was in ECW, I enjoyed him in ECW.
Yeah,
but it's time to move on.
Well, let's go on and move on to Lockdown.
Lockdown results.
It sounded like a very good pay-per-view for TNA.
For TNA, I mean, you can't expect much, but it was pretty decent.
Oh, yeah. We had Wrestle 1.
Which, by the way, if you watched our show last week, we butchered the names. That's why we're really calling it Wrestle 1 now. But here's the problem. That name that they added, they took out, which actually is not Tiger Uno, it's Tigro Uno.
Tigru, okay.
Tigru Uno. It's really weird. But anyway, they added another name, then took that name out and added another guy.
I saw that.
They changed it like 3 times. Very confusing.
Well, like I said, Wrestle 1 figured they just signed it. They just signed with Wrestle 1. So
like
why
not
let the people from Wrestle 1 win?
Exactly, and they did.
Well, Saban's still there, and they said the bad influences, their contract's about to expire.
Their contract's about to expire, and they were not at the TNA tapings for the whole month of the TNA tapings. They were not there at all. That's not a good sign.
Do I smell some Ring of Honor news?
It might be some Ring of Honor news, which unfortunately we do not have any of those for John R. this week.
There's no Ring of Honor news.
If they would post their results on their page, it would be nice. But anyway, neither here nor there.
If any big news comes out of Ring of Honor, any title changes, we will report it here.
We will.
But other than that, there'll be none. So, okay, we had a
very confusing match. It was Sam Shaw.
Thank you.
Samuel Shaw taking on Mr. Anderson, Mr. Ken Anderson, in an escape rules match. You had to escape the cage in order to win.
Which Anderson did, but the ref was down.
Yes. And somehow, apparently, he got back into the ring.
Well, Shaw pulled, the hole, this must be a gigantic hole.
A huge hole. I mean, Christy Hemme is tiny.
Yes, but
still, he pulled Christy Hemme through the camera hole into the cage, and that brought Ken Anderson back into the ring.
And that's when
Shaw ended up getting out of the ring by the time the referee woke up. But even TNA's website screwed up who the winner was, so we really had to research that one because they messed it up.
And then EC3 come out, talking about how he put out Kurt Angle. And we had a return, which I'm surprised, but if we didn't have Occupy Raw and Daniel Bryan's big,
this guy would have been.
He would have been the rest of the week.
He would have been
the returning Bobby Lashley.
Yes, as TNA calls him, the boss, which I guess MVP is kind of the boss, ain't he? But anyway,
yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, but Bobby Lashley returns and destroys EC3.
Yes.
You know, which that's going to lead into other things. But Lashley returning, and it's not a one-off deal. He is back full-time with TNA. Once again, another MMA guy that they're bringing back in.
Well, he wants the small schedule, which,
of course.
Do you want to work 150 days or do you want 300 some days?
I mean, it's smart, yes. Exposure-wise, not very smart.
No,
but anyway.
And then we had Tigra Uno defeat Mannix. So, kind of saw that coming.
Yes.
We had the last man standing match.
It was the last man standing match. They kind of
have
teased
you
it, but
seen
it was.
James Storm?
I have not got to see him.
His face is terribly fat.
He's gained weight.
Oh,
which I mean, we can't say anything. We can't say anything.
No, but he used to have a fairly skinny face.
He did.
His face is. I think he's on a lot of roids.
Oh.
His face is humongous.
Let's hope the.
A lot of swelling. He has a lot of swelling in the face. I saw his face and. Wow.
Let's hope the powers that be did not hear about roids on here.
Well, you need to look up.
I will have to look that up.
And you'll be shocked at how big his face is.
But Gunner, who I guess is coming up in the ranks to go into the title picture eventually, beat James Storm.
Okay, you know how Chris Harrell looked when he showed up in WWE?
Right.
How fat looked?
Right.
Yeah, James Storm now.
Interesting.
So they could work good now as America's fat males or whatever.
There you go. Something.
Whatever they were. We had a knockdown title. Madison Rayne defeated Gail Kim.
He just said knockdown. It is a knockout title.
Knockout, yeah.
Knockout at the lockdown.
The women, yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, knockout title. Madison Rayne kept her title against Gail Kim.
We did not predict some of these very well, let me tell you.
No, we did not.
I thought Gail Kim was going to keep it. Madison Rayne retained it, which when we go into the TNA results this week.
This is the TNA lockdown. Yeah,
when we go to the TNA results, it will make more sense why Rayne retained the championship.
Yeah, we had the world title match. Magnus
not
defeated.
The main event. They're learning from WWE, not put the title match in the main event.
Never. Why? It doesn't mean anything. It's just
not.
a title.
It's a prop.
Yes. Magnus defeated Samoa Joe with the help of returning for the second time, because Abyss returned once and he disappeared. He came back.
Yeah, we were just talking about last week how he was not, like he showed up at the UK thing with Eric Young and he revealed himself as Joseph Park was Abyss, very confusing, then he goes away. Now it makes sense why he went away, but here's the problem. He came out from underneath the ring to help Magnus. He didn't have a mask on. When I go into the TNA results, I will let you know why that makes no sense, why he didn't have a mask on.
And then our Lethal Lockdown match, Team MVP defeated Team Dixie with the help of Bully Ray, who was Dixie's insurance policy
policy, the referee.
Yes.
And he turns on Bobby Roode, helping Team MVP win the match.
He puts Bobby Roode through a table.
And let me tell you, I thought with the internet, with everybody talking so much, that Bobby Lashley, we would have known about it. Abyss, we would have known about it. Bully Ray, we would have known about it. So you know what? I give an A for effort to TNA for the fact that nobody guessed any of that stuff. None of that stuff was guessed. And by the way,
they just don't care.
I hope they had a cup or a bucket or something for Abyss down underneath the ring, because they said he was under the ring for hours waiting to be coming out from underneath the ring.
He had to wait.
That sucked for him. But
he could have scraped. Only 900 people there, so.
True. He could have. They maybe would have never seen him. But anyway.
Good darkness. You go.
There you go. But I do like that Bully Ray has turned face. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on.
How long will it last?
I don't know. Maybe it's a big swerve. I don't know.
I wouldn't surprise me because he was better as a heel.
Of course he's better as a heel. He's Bully Ray. Even as Bubba Ray Dudley, he was better as a heel. All right, so now on to the TNA results.
This past week's results.
This past week. All right. Interesting. I did like it. The only complaint I have is a lot of segments and not a lot of wrestling. It's total non-stop action, but I did like it. EC3 and Company. They show up, all Rockstar Spud, Bromans, all that group.
Yes.
Okay. They show up blaming Rude because they lost.
Yeah, they blame Rude.
Rude said it's not my fault. It was Dixie's fault because her insurance policy, Bully Ray, didn't work out for him. Okay, so now they have said we're going to go find Bully Ray. We're going to do something about it. Okay, so then Out comes MVP. That was backstage. Now we're in the ring. MVP comes out and says, Dixieland is now closed. And it's his way of, now this is his new way of running TNA. It's the MVP way.
Yes, and what is the MVP way?
Motivate.
Motivate.
Validate.
Validate.
Participate.
Participate.
That's right.
Oh, that's what MVP.
That was interesting.
That's amazing.
Very good.
I love
so
the writers.
Then Magnus interrupts, bragging about how he kept the title because of Abyss. That brings out Abyss. Here's what makes no sense
Did
about.
he come from the ring?
No, do what now?
Did he come from under the
He
ring?
didn't come from underneath the ring.
I thought it was going to be his new.
His new thing.
Yes.
Yes. It did not come
Some
from underneath the
Undertaker
ring.
and Kane.
Right? He came from the entrance, but here's the weird thing. He has a new mask, I guess, because Kane got a new mask before. He gets a new mask now. But what makes no sense is, like we were talking about earlier, with coming from underneath the ring, he had no mask on. Now he shows up on the very first week on the live episode, has a mask on.
Maybe it wasn't finished yet.
Probably not. You know, they're late, whatever on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Biz comes out with his new look. MVP invites Joe to come out and says, you know what? I'm going to let him come out and participate. He wants him to participate, okay? So he comes out. MVP makes Abyss versus Joe right off the bat.
Oh, right.
Right off the bat.
Wait. Didn't Joe get something else?
Did Joe get something else?
Yes.
Well, he gets a title match.
There
of
you
course.
go. Yes,
of course.
Of course.
That's next week,
guys.
That's next week, okay? So, Abyss versus Joe right now. Abyss wins by DQ due to Eric Young interfering, which what we read was obviously very strange because they were trying to say that it was Samoa Joe that won, which is very odd. Eric Young attacked Abyss. I guess
trying to get Janice.
He feels like it's his fault that Abyss did all this, but whatever.
The 2x4's back now. So
now we get a returning Abyss. Now we get a debuting new knockout. Her name is Brittany. She beats Gail Kim of all people.
Well, it's thanks to her helper.
Yes. After the match, Kim and Tappa, because Tappa accidentally hit Gail Kim, caused the match. They argue, and then they brawl, and then Kim gets away. Gail Kim runs off,
for her life.
and she basically says, you know, I'm coming for you, and this is not going to be the end of it, okay? Backstage...
they have another good girl.
Right. So backstage, Bully Ray is attacked by all the Dixieland members. Not Eric, but...
Eric Young attacked
No. EC3. EC3, same thing. Anyway, so his whole group attacks Bully Ray. Then the Bromans lose to, and we actually got it right, it is Sonata and Tigre Uno, and Sonata is the X Division champion. Bully then finds the Bromans after the match.
So they got. Let's go back to the Russell 1 guys.
Okay.
Are they going to be the new tag team champions for it's over with?
Hey, I saw some of the spoilers, and I don't know. It may be that way.
We
eventually.
don't do spoilers. We only do after the fact.
After the fact, we'll talk about that next week or the week after.
Anything you know up here, you got to keep it.
That's right. I'm gonna keep it to myself. So then, Bully.
If you have a tag team title change hands or knockout title change hands or anything like that.
Gotta let you know later on.
Tight lip, yeah. It did not
so Bully Ray is now back up. He stood up from his attack. Now he finds the Bromans after their match, attacks them, beats them down. Then Shaw's in the back. One man beat them all three down.
That's great.
Then Shaw's in the back talking about not being creepy. That was creepy, not talking about not being creepy, because he's creepy.
Oh, the Dexter wannabe, huh?
Dexter wannabe. Then Spud, Rockstar Spud. Apparently he's a potato.
Don't forget about the carrying that dummy, the mannequin with him.
Yeah, he is carrying a dummy named Christy, which
is half mannequin.
Half a mannequin. That's right. Now, Rockstar Spud, he is a potato apparently, tells EC3 he's going to pay tribute to Madam Dixie later on tonight. Now, Samoa Joe finds Eric Young backstage trying to find answers to why he cost him his match. Once again, Eric Young feels like he calls this from Abyss, and he wants to fix it.
Well, let him fight Abyss.
Right. Now, Spud comes out with
that'll
EC3.
be next week, too.
Yes, we'll talk more about that next week. Spud comes out with EC3 for the tribute, but MVP interrupts. Here's where everything gets really good, okay? Interrupts to announce that Spud is going to be facing Willow the Wisp this week as Willow debuts for TNA
Jeff Hardy's?
That's Jeff Hardy's little thing. And then next week, EC3 will once again be facing Bobby Lashley.
All right.
Okay. Then we get a street fight with Mr. Anderson beating Samuel Shaw. So they trading victories, just like WWE likes to do.
You got to trade victories.
Now,
everybody at 500 except John Cena.
Right. Now, Angelina Love, like I said, she's the woman of the week this week because of this right here. She returns, comes out, she calls out Velvet Sky and asks her to reunite the beautiful people.
That sounds good.
Right. It does sound great. Velvet says she needs to think about it.
That's never
Something
good.
a little fishy going on here.
Yeah, never wanna think
I
of it.
wonder what's going to happen. Okay?
All right.
Now, Spud actually wins his match by disqualification because Will-O-the-Wisp apparently
Jeff Hardy.
is, yes,
If you didn't know, that's Jeff Hardy.
that is. And they're actually saying that on TNA, they're saying it is Jeff Hardy. It's his alter ego. They're saying that basically this guy doesn't care about getting disqualified. He doesn't care about winning matches. He just wants to hurt people. And see, for history, Spud was the reason Jeff Hardy did not win the belt and Magnus did because Spud pushed Jeff Hardy off the ladder. So now, Spud wins by DQ. Willow hits him with his umbrella. After the umbrella, Willow puts Spud in a ladder. Well, see, ladder. Puts his leg in a ladder, stomps on it, injures his leg.
Well, that
Okay.
really matters.
Right, it doesn't matter. So to end the show, Bully Ray comes out trying to explain himself why he helped Team MVP. Okay? He says that Ken Anderson kind of woke him up. He showed him the error of his ways by shutting a coffin on top of him. He shut the lid.
Might put him in the coffin, that changed him.
He changed him just like that. A little weird, but whatever works.
It is.
Okay? He is now trying to save Rude from the same fate that he felt like he was going through. Okay?
It won't work.
No, of course it won't work. He said, because if Rude would have won, we would have had the exact same problem. We would have had two Dixies. We would have had him and Dixie Carter. They would have acted the same way. So he said TNA didn't need that. So then Rude arrives, trying to defend himself.
Of course.
They end up brawling, and then they set up a table. Bully finally gets a table out. He's got to have the table.
Get the table.
And then
Since Demon's
Rude,
not there.
right, he turns around, Rude hits him, spine buster.
Ooh.
Well, then he gets back up and he hits a Bubba cutter, which is a diamond cutter, which is an RKO. He hits the Bubba cutter and a power bomb through the table to end this week's TNA.
So that was the end, and then Spud and Willow was pretty much the main event.
Willow and Spud were the main event. Jeff Hardy got to be the main event, of course.
What about Magnus? He's a world heavyweight champion. For goodness
Well,
sakes.
he was just talking this week. Like I said,
He
there's
was talking this week.
a lot of talking segments this week and not a lot of action. Hopefully next week it's a little bit better with the talking.
Well, should be a world title match. So
We will have the world title match, and I think a lot more stuff's coming up soon. They're giving
Okay.
a lot away on free TV. They like to do that. All right, so now we go to our comment corner. We have a guy named...
So we do have a comment
We do
corner,
have a
so?
comment corner. Last week, we did our top 10 coolest entrances.
Right.
Okay. A guy named Mark O.
Marco.
Mark O.
Marco.
Yes, not Marco Polo, but Mark O. Okay.
Not John R. this
Not
week.
John R. this week, but
Nothing-
Mark
nothing
O.
from John R. this week.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so Mark O has this to say. He felt like Stone Cold really didn't need to be in the top 10. He felt like there wasn't much to his entrance. Just the hearing of glass shattering and he walks out and that's it. He felt like the Usos deserved to be in the top 10. He's just giving his opinion, just like we are.
Oh, yes.
So that's totally fine. He feels the Usos
But-
with their Samoan ritual thing at the beginning, before their music starts, he felt like that was a more impressive entrance. So that is our comment this week. He kind of felt like they should
Well,
have been
I don't-
added in.
I
But
don't-
we don't make the top 10, obviously. That's the WWE thing.
That's something you can vote for. So, but if it's not on there, you can't vote for it.
Exactly. If they're not put in it, you can't do nothing about it.
So
Now-
you know, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock, all of them are going to get
Oh
major
yeah, all
votes.
the big names are going to get major votes. But now on to extra news from
Extra
you.
news, yeah, they had a little extra news this week. Sting, WWE bound Sting.
Of course.
He was in the UK with a promotion. He was answering a Q&A section.
He was taking the place of Ric Flair, who couldn't show up for personal reasons.
Yeah, WWE said you can't show up.
All right.
If
Interesting.
you work for us, you come. You come. We tell you to come. He was answering a few questions, and the more taking key points out of this was a few good answers that you'd like to hear.
Yes. I like it.
Sting said he won his last match to face the Undertaker. Like that.
Hinting at something, I feel.
Yes. They asked him about WCW. He said he felt Hogan did not take his place in WCW.
He felt like there was enough room for the both of them.
Yeah, because when Hogan was there, pretty much Sting was gone. So, yeah, I guess there was enough room for him.
Right.
So, he says he hasn't watched much TNA since he left, and that he purposely has been watching W Raw this past few weeks.
Purposely watching Raw.
I guess you
Remember
got to
that,
get used to
people.
saying WWE,
Right.
and learn the people, to Stone Cold, and all
Exactly, because you don't want to come on to Raw and screw up somebody's name, now
No,
do you?
because you're live. This ain't taped 5 weeks in a row here.
Exactly.
And pretty much the last thing was he said that HBK and Kurt Angle are the best wrestlers.
I thought that was very interesting.
Until he wrestles Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and Chris Jericho.
Right.
But okay, HBK and Kurt.
Now these next two things, and I love Sting, these next two things, I think it's good.
Yeah. Now there's been, Layla,
she's
she
gone
was
for
back.
a while.
Yes, and they have never said why she was gone.
They never gave her a
They never
storyline
said
reason.
injury. They never said, they said it could be injury, could be family issues.
Right.
They never did say. They said she may not wrestle ever again.
Right.
But they reported this past week she returned at a house show and wrestled in a match.
Which is good news for the Divas division.
Yes,
really.
yeah, I like Layla.
She
does help it, yes. But she's been gone. I know she's been gone since September of 2013.
Yes, it's been quite a while.
Yes. She was there, and then have a good thing with AJ and them, and then all of a sudden, gone.
She was Tamina in the AJ Tamina thing.
She was.
And then all of a sudden she just vanished, and that's why Tamina got the spot.
So, and also,
this
don't
is
know
why
don't know how it's going to go. Hopefully, they maybe need one more guy. Maybe 4 would be better.
I think they could do 4.
They have 4. Hell, Kofi Kingston. You can have him in there.
Quite a lot of people.
Yes, but right now the word going around is that you're going to have Zack Ryder, The Miz, and Dolph Ziggler join together in some type of disgruntled group. Bunch of disgruntled guys.
They're angry about their pushes. They're not getting the push.
They're not on Raw. They're not on
like
this,
Batista, Brock Lesnar, all those guys are coming back, and they're not getting any time on television. I think it's going to be good. I think it'd be good TV because it comes from the heart. I mean, they really are pissed off.
If they really do that, though.
If they let them kind of go off the cuff and kind of do their own thing. And
don't go overboard to get you fired. But
PG.
speak your mind where it feels like people know it's from your heart.
Could it be another, almost like a smaller Nexus? I mean, where they just go in and I would like it if they came in and destroyed the ring, got angry at everybody.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know what way they need to go with, but I don't know about being another Nexus right now. We'll get a little think about it. We'll talk about this over the next week, and we may have more on this next week.
Right.
So, that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed doing it.
Don't forget to add us on Facebook at Mike Hogan, Justin Carter.
No Ann, just Mike Hogan, Justin Carter.
Go to YouTube, watch these segments as they pop up. There's only going to be 3 this week, so it won't be as much.
Comment below.
And then go to Twitter at Top Rope Reality, hashtag March Macho Madness, and tell us what you feel about the 8 matches that we had as we go into the next round next week.
Which would be a lot tougher.
Yes,
but give us, what do you think? If we pick right, we pick wrong. What do you think? It's our opinion. You have your opinion. Tell us what you think.
And obviously, at the end of it, y'all will be the pick of the winner.
Right.
Y'all get to pick the winners. So just tell us how you feel right now going into the next round.
So for Mike Hogan, this is Justin Carter. Thanks for watching this week's show, and we'll see you next week from Top Rope Reality.